Yeah, a warm welcome to Excel helpers for generating Moodle randomized quiz. In this video, we talk about the Excel helper generating a multiple response, single choice type of questions. Yeah, this video is about multiple choice, single response type questions in Moodle automatically generated with an Excel sheet. I would say it's a bit more advanced style. You will see in a second what actually this looks like. However, if it's the first video you watch, I would recommend watch the multiple response video first. And maybe if you want to have an idea what I'm talking about in general, then watch the intro video first. It's all in a playlist there. You can select it. And the most, let's say, the most in-depth discussion is in this assign type question video, also linked here, because this video will be shorter. So especially the multiple response makes sense to watch first. Okay, so let's demonstrate briefly what you can expect. So this is the type you can generate. This is an example of an immunology self-assessment exam, T-cell maturation in the thymus. You see a quite complex picture. This is also a quite complex question. And you then see here what we talk about at the end are these statements. So in physiological cases, double negatively enter the thymus, and so on. So you see that we have 5 different statements, and then you have to decide which of the following combinations is correct. Only one response is correct. So what we do here, you can, of course, as always, randomize the images. You can put in the text. The statements are drawn randomly. The order is randomly. So you can draw these 5 statements out of 20 statements, for example. And then these combinations are generated randomly, and also the order is randomly. And then you can generate on the mouse click a couple of questions. How is that done? So let's go to the Excel sheet. So this is the Excel sheet. If you have watched the multiple response video, you see that here on this page, everything is the same. You just have your statements. And then I can go generate my output here, just clicking on Export Moodle-XML. At present, I'm generating 6 questions. And now let's simply import it into Moodle. So I go to Import, Moodle-XML, import. I have imported 6 questions. Continue. Here they are. I have 6 questions, and this is how it looks like. I have my duck, I have my statements, and I have my combinations. And of course, so if you learn that by heart, you would see that here, the next question, the statements are different, the combinations are different, and so everything is changed and randomized. Okay, so this is what you can expect. Now let's have a look in more detail how you can generate that and how this is being generated. Yeah, so let's dive into the Excel sheet. Yeah, as I already said, make sure to watch the video on multiple responses first, because what you see here is exactly what you have also in the multiple response. So you have an intro text. This is then after the statements come, that you put a text before the statements, and then you have these statements itself, 100% correct, minus 100% incorrect. You can also put categories as for the multiple responses, and everything is fine. You see that there is an additional sheet what you don't need to use. This is the one generating then these combinations, which is quite sophisticated. This is again the random matrix where you can put different pictures. Again, this has been thoroughly explained in the assign video linked above. So if you want to know how this works, this has been explained, and you can then refer to these, like for example here, the tail of the duck depicted in ### 4 semicolon, so hashtag number, semicolon, then takes in the element here of the random matrix. So this is also implemented. Now we go to this, what's different to the multiple response, or somehow different, is in this generate output. So we have the same as for multiple response. We can choose how much statements per question we use. So we say here 4, and I say I want to have one of category 2, one of category 3, and one of category 2. In other words, it will always draw 2 from these, 1 from these, and 1 from these. Put that in a random order, and then it generates this combination. And this is the combination settings. I would use the default values if I were you at the beginning. So minimal choices, maximal choices. So this means in the combination you have at least, for example, A and B. At most you have A, B, C, D, even if you have 6. Maximal inverted means, of course, you need to make one false. Only one can be positive. So you have to invert the responses. This you can select here, and how much choices you have, in this case, 5. So this also, you can work with that, play around. Be aware that these, I just developed these Excel sheets mainly for me, that I can use that. So they're not double checked for usability and so on. So I assume that the people using that have some experience with Excel, some experience with Moodle, and it's you don't need to have by the default experience with Visual Basic for application. However, it can be that the macro code gets stuck, then just shut it down, open it again, and just correct the numbers. And if you have some idea of Excel, of VBA, then of course you can go into it. However, again, they're not double checked. To be completely error prone. So this is important to keep that in mind. As for the others, you can put a penalty. As for the others, you can put a hint. Of course, you need to give the name, how it appears in Moodle. You need to give the file name of the XML file which is generated, and the path. So this is how this is being generated, and we have already done that. We have exported that, and we have already seen how that looks in the demo. So I don't need to demonstrate this export anymore. You click export, you say, I want to generate 6 questions. Of course, you can generate whatever you want. In this case, it's easy to have a couple of questions because the randomization is on different levels. So therefore, 10 is no problem. They will look differently. You export on Moodle, and then again, how does it look on Moodle? After the import, in this case, you have these 6 questions, and just again, you can randomize the picture. The statements are drawn randomly, and the combination of the questions is randomly drawn. And then you have to click one of these, check. And this was luck. It was the correct one. So you see that even if it's complicated, you can have luck. This is, I should play lottery today. However, it was 20% the likelihood. So that is also already something. So why are these questions interesting? So in Germany, these type of questions are allowed. Kind of multiple responses are not allowed. However, for the students, they're way more harder. So therefore, at least if you make self-assessments and so on, I would not recommend only to include this question type. Yeah, but this is what I wanted to say about these multiple response single choice question. Play around, feel free to use it. And as always, if you experience that there is a bug or whatsoever, I'm not professionally developing that. It's just for me, and I feel free to share. However, then you can go to the GitHub and page of which is linked down there, and make an issue and say there is an issue, or write me an email or whatsoever. And if I have time, I may change it, but of course I cannot promise. Okay, so that's it for this type of question. Thanks a lot for your attention. and enjoy making questions in Moodle. And hopefully your students become smarter after that. Bye bye.